Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
This is our first podcast in the series of many. Before we embark on this journey, let me give you a brief background about us. I am Asim, and I have Mr. Bose with me, Tivra Bose.
Thank
We
you,
have
sir.
been in this industry of IT for long, around 30 years plus experience. As I said, this is our first podcast, and we have taken the topic as the DC operation, overall management, and extracting efficiency. Now, before I start off, I'll just give you a background on data center. Data center, as we all know, is a need of an hour. It is probably the cornerstone of every organization, whether it's FMCG, Forge, ONG, and the government. Government being the very big in India, as I understand. That we will talk about the DC or infra operation management and efficiency with Mr. Tivr. So he is the one who has made this tool, dcim, what we call it, way back, and he's been associated with the industry for right from the very inception of data center, if I have to say so. Let me ask him, which year was it?
The inception on the technology side was 2010. But having said that, the thought process came a little earlier. And this was 2005 while I was doing a project with NEGP, National E-Governance Program, working on the statewide area networks. I realized that after the networks are settled in the country, there would be huge infrastructures built. And if you have a large infrastructure, you have to have a management tool which can really probe into various areas. And that's where the thought came in. 2013, we got Gurgaon Metro as the first deal on our tool.
Very good. So as I understand, you were working with the American MNC, you
That's right,
left their
yes.
job to
Sure.
start your own venture.
Yes, I did. I was a little cocky, I would say, and I thought I could probably ride the tide and make bigger bucks than what I was making in with CA. But yeah, CA was a great platform for me to launch this tool, and everybody helped.
And what other major projects did you do in initial stages?
With this product,
Yes.
okay. So with this product, we for the DRDO data center. Uh, how could we make a tool in probably a couple of months and beat the organization which has been doing this work for 26 years? So,
So you made a lot of money, I believe. Like your prophecy in a way came true.
yes, I think we were very lucky that a lot of projects came simultaneously. So, there were smart cities which started happening. There were metro rail which started happening. Delhi Metro, as you correctly said, had started in 2005 end. So, all these things started parallelly, and our tool could fit into all these projects. So, yes, we did quite well.
So when we talk about the data center, what you can point out if for us, to know what was really missing in this industry at that point in time when you ventured into it.
Sure. So, what was really missing was data center. If you see, there are three significant parts. There is the electrical side, there is the facility side, and then there is the IoT side. Now, all of this actually serves the IT side, which is the servers, the storage, and the entire network,
Hmm.
which kind of couples
Hmm.
them.
Hmm.
We didn't have a single tool which could have all these infra parts on a single plane. So you were working in silos.
Okay.
So all the information, so the impact analysis on one equipment on the other was not there.
So I'll just take a pause there. So was there enough education and awareness about these programs were there at that point in time about the data center?
Unfortunately, forget the data center. Even if you see the large infrastructure, we don't have any serious education. And I can, because I have done some research,
Hmm.
there is no undergraduate course uh, in reckoning. So we have some courses in IIT Guwahati, some courses in IIT Roorkee, that too, the management side. ISC has the management course, and then the Institute of Engineering of Adani in Ahmedabad.
Yeah.
But they have an MBA program on
So they're
infrastructure
all management
management.
courses, you're going
Yeah,
to say. No
that's right.
engineering
No
courses.
engineering courses, no technical know-how.
But then it is very, and how big is this industry? I mean, like in terms of how it is, what's growing. I mean, if you can go touch upon that,
Yeah, sure.
like smart cities. I mean, like if I have to talk about.
So smart cities, for 100 cities, the government of India had kept about 48,000 crores. But for data center, this is getting bigger by the day. And what we saw in the past was about zero point 0.9 billion, but now it is about 1.82 billion just for the country for DCIM,
Okay.
and about 8 billion till 2026 for DC build.
So all this thing happened, and I'm just correlating that earlier question. All this thing happened without any planning as such. I mean, like you have so many cities coming up, and
Sure. So I'm not too sure why possibly people underestimated the infrastructure management as an extension of the ITES, the enabled services, and people kind of shifted places from the large IT companies to manage a data center or manage the other infrastructure. But since, as we discussed, that there was not a real course on infrastructure management, everything went haywire. The best example is the smart city. 46,000 out of 48,000 crores was spent, and there was a third party audit only a couple of months back, and the result is 16 passed with grace marks, and rest of them failed. So
unbelievable. This is
absolutely.
and also, I mean, like if I have to again, then I'm again correlating. So there were no tools except for yours.
They were tools.
Okay.
So they were tools. They were tools from the bigwigs of the market. So there was this Schneider Electric management tool.
Yes.
There was this management tool called Trellis from the organization Eversent, but then Eversent was acquired by Vertiv, then Emerson. So they did a few projects, but please understand, it's a mix of a few other tools which would make the right kind of sauce to really manage the data center infrastructure.
So your tool came in and fit in this space perfectly, and it did turn into your favor.
Well, absolutely. So since we were realizing what are the misses in the earlier tools, or the people who came to this market a little earlier than us. They missed the inventory management, they missed the help desk.
All right.
And then, of course, any large data center or large infrastructure has to have a reporting and a dashboard tool which is kind of integrated into the entire gambit. So that was really missing.
All right. So, I mean, with this, you have taken this tool. Obviously, you are in India. You also taken this tool outside India as well?
Yes, very fortunate when we instituted Gurgaon Metro. We actually got a call from Oman, that is Oman Air.
Okay.
And they wanted a data center for their ticketing platform. So, fortunately, their IT manager came to India. They saw what we have done, what we had done in Gurgaon Metro, and they immediately selected us. So we went to Oman, and then, of course, with Bawan IT, a local company in Oman, we did 4 projects.
All right. So basically, it's quite interesting, this journey itself, when we talk about.
Sure.
And also, just to looking at the industry, the way it is growing, I'm slightly inquisitive about how big in the industry and how you are catering to it,
I think we discussed that. I'll repeat it. $8 billion till 2026 for the DC build, and 1.82 for DCIM. And this is exclusively for India. And this kind of research had never happened before.
All right.
But I think whatever the kind of promise which India as a country has shown in the last few years, I think everything was possible.
Wow. Good. I mean, like, good to know. I mean, this is a good. Is actually an eye opener. With this, again, I will now dwell more on the technical side.
Sure.
What makes your tool its secret recipe or secret sauce, whatever you call, so important for the data centers today?
Sure. So the combination of the engine which extracts information from various tools which are there in the data center, as I said, the electrical equipment which actually power in the IT equipment, and the facilities equipment which support the IT and electrical equipment, and then the IoT, the sensors which actually give out the information on temperature, the humidity, the airflow, and uh, various other
Parameters.
important parameters.
Right.
So we have a massive engine which can manage all of these together. So, and then if there is a problem, so let's say the implementation is done. So now it is into production.
Correct.
So once the production is on, there have to be incidents, and they have to be taken care of. So how much time do you take to really get the problematic portion into production? So that is also integrated. And then over the time, quarterly or fortnightly or half yearly, you have reports.
Correct.
And these reports are based on the standard operating procedures which we have signed
With the customer.
initially with the customer.
Correct.
So when it is a 360 degree, when it is taking care of all those things which we actually wanted to deliver, I think people appreciated that, and we went to even we were.
So in your dashboard is all real-time information is coming.
That's right. Yes.
And if I have to compare your tool with all the which are international tools which are available, how does
Yeah.
it
So
fare?
we were very lucky to get a place in 2017 on the Gartner Sphere Insight, and if you go to this portal, we are compared to the who's who.
NSS and all these tools,
That's
where Enlight is there.
Enlight. That's my favorite
Extralysis,
tool.
I mean, like we talk about.
Exactly. So we have been compared to all these tools. Having said that, we have also made a comparison, which is there in the description box, so anybody can download that. But yes, Gartner's customers have compared us, who have used our tool and the other tools as well. So
Wow,
yeah.
that's huge. And
that's
actually-
we are very proud of it.
Correct. So this tool actually mitigates all the challenges what we see in the data center, and especially your tool when you're talking about you integrated from end-to-end perspective.
That's
So, what are the challenges you see? I mean, like in the DC business as such. I mean, if we have to develop on that.
Sure. So the most important thing is sustainability. And
Sustainability. Okay.
sustainability.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have an infrastructure, you have a DC. If you can't sustain that, and like the smart cities, once the initial funding is over, your data center should not go down the drain.
Correct.
It should build its own business. It should build its own KRA KPIs, and it should deliver on it.
Right.
So sustenance for us is the biggest challenge. And sustenance also brings in the amount of power which was allocated initially. And would that allocation go in for a few years till you really kind of deliver 3 times of the infused investment?
Correct.
Then comes the impact between various equipments, the electrical, the facilities.
Correct.
So that's the second problem.
Facility is the second you.
The facility is the second problem.
Okay.
The third problem, and the most important thing, which really can suck out a lot of money, is inventory management.
Oh.
So over the time, what happens is these colos, especially, they would make money when they have racks and multiple of racks. And even the captive data center, we recently did Bangalore International Airport, which had about 700 plus racks. And if you have so many racks, you don't know after a time that which application is sitting on which rack.
Okay.
And how much of power has been allocated to each of
Correct.
the racks. So if you
Correct.
don't have a common managed database, then it's extremely impossible for anybody to really.
Correct.
So we have that inventory management tool, and
Okay.
based on that inventory management tool, if there is an incident of any of these equipments, we have
Right.
nomenclated these 100,000 equipments. So
Correct.
our tool can take up to 25 million equipment. So the unlimited
licenses.
can
Okay.
get
All right.
about 25 million
Correct.
equipments. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to have that, and then you have to report on these 25 million
Correct.
based on if something is going down.
Real
Is
time.
it because of real time? Is it because of something else?
True.
So let's say a fuse or
It's gone off.
MCCB, which is a 16 ampere.
Correct.
Once it has gone fart,
Right.
it is changed by mistake with a 26 ampere fuse. And people would not really understand what is the kind of impact it's going to make. So they would, when there is a surge more than 16 amperes,
Correct.
that equipment would be affected, because you have a 26.
You don't have an auto shut off over there?
Auto shut off is being done by the LT panel. So now,
Okay.
since the
All right.
16 ampere fuse had gone bad, you have
yes.
changed it with the 26 without
Correct.
even understanding
Right.
that it is not the same.
Okay. So that
So
will
that
part-
is where the inventory management really helps.
Very
That
well.
this
Correct.
particular equipment has
Correct.
to have this kind of MCCB or MCB or VCB, vacuum circuit breaker, or so and so forth.
So basically, then what we talked about sustainability.
Yeah.
We talked about the facilities. In facilities, also the location will make a difference.
Location makes huge difference. People initially, about 7-8 years back, Chennai was the number one thought. But after tsunami, things changed. And today, if you see, maximum focus is on Mumbai. So the largest, Yotta, the data center by Hiranandani, that's in Mumbai, and there are various other players who are coming out with their data centers in Mumbai and Maharashtra.
So I mean, like if my memory serve me right, Hyderabad was another place.
Yes, Control S was in Hyderabad. But over the time now, if you see, I think Mumbai
is taken up.
Yes, and the number two, very distant number two would be UP.
UP, that's surprising. And they have the good power backup over there in UP? Because that's quite a lot of depending on the electricity. I mean, like how the
absolutely.
power,
So the government of India has improved power by almost 950 megawatts,
Wow,
and it has gone to about 3.2 gigawatts.
Huge.
So that's a huge jump.
Correct. So we talked about sustainability, we talked about the facility, we talked about the maintenance and the supply chain. Any other thing on the training part of the manpower which is required in these? What challenges do you see over there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, see, when you have a critical infrastructure, as in a human body, you have to go to an expert doctor or a consultant who would cure you.
Correct.
But having said that, on the data center side, we have people in the data centers who might have 20 years of experience in the IT industry, but then they don't have any idea about the impact from the facilities or the electrical side.
Correct.
So you have to have this education done from probably grassroots, which has not been done. So at least an academy and a few organizations are doing a good job, but they don't have hands-on.
Correct.
Now these kind of tools or infrastructures really need hands-on training. And that's what we are missing probably.
I will correlate your answer with the first what we discussed. There were no curriculum, technical available in any universities or anywhere. I mean, it's all management course.
Yeah.
So would it be good, I mean, like if we have this kind of courses coming in the private universities, which will also generate a lot of employment as such? I mean, like what are your views and how would you see that?
I think it's a great idea. It's absolutely a 360-degree idea, because when there's so many data centers, 1.82 billion of just DCIM means about 5 lakh jobs. So if you have to have 5 lakh jobs, at least 3.5 lakhs have to be really those good guys who can manage the data
Correct.
centers, and we can have a few freshers who would
Correct.
over the time on the job learn the work. But how would we train this 3.5
True. True. No,
lakh
but
people?
you see, I mean, like then my question comes in. I mean, like
Sure.
if we want to have these kind of a courses, in our university, we want to know how big is the India market, because you see, I mean,
I
like
think
that
we've
is
already.
all correlated things,
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
So we've already discussed
yeah,
that India market has grown from 2019 to 2023 at the rate of 32%
that's
in
huge.
data center, and now it is still growing at 26%, and it will grow till 2027. And I'm sure the figures would come out. It might reduce, but please understand, when it goes to $1 billion, and even at 10% if it grows,
Hmm.
we can employ over the next 10
Hmm.
years almost about 10 million just in data center. And this
That's
training would
huge.
actually
Hmm.
take course people
Hmm.
to take any infrastructure management job. So it's not just the data center.
Correct. Correct.
So that's
So,
what,
I mean,
yeah.
how does change happen so suddenly? I mean, before I get into that, I mean, then it makes sense to have these courses in the university. It really makes sense. I mean, I completely echo your what you said. But then, I mean, I'm also inquisitive about how this change happened so suddenly.
I think the government bodies have been probably researching. I exactly don't know which department,
Hmm.
but I have been in touch with the NIC, the MOUD,
Hmm.
and since now the both the MOUD minister and the minister of Meti,
Hmm.
they both were earlier bureaucrats.
Hmm.
So I'm sure they would have got this picture very clear, and then SOCHAM and FICCI
Hmm.
did a lot of work to get this market to the next level.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, like, I'll
Yeah.
take a cue. So, what's next? Would there be enough job for the people?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the infrastructure, the way it's growing, and I think China has shown us
Hmm.
that growing infrastructure creates jobs,
Hmm.
creates enough money for
Hmm.
people to really invest back, and that's how the liquidation can be done. So I think there would be a lot of jobs in
Hmm.
the infrastructure market,
Hmm.
and it can only grow from here. We are 140 billion
Billion, yeah.
people, so
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting,
and
yeah.
35% it seems is
Uh,
between 18 and 35.
hmm. Hmm.
So in that age group, everybody would have the energy. So they have to have the right kind of knowledge. There
Hmm.
are enough jobs. I think what people miss out here
Hmm.
is they don't have the right kind of knowledge, and then they want an X job.
Correct.
So you would be paid well,
Hmm.
but you need to have the training. You have to go through these courses, and people have to institute those
Yeah, yeah.
courses and curriculums
Makes
together.
sense.
Yeah.
It culminates to the last point which I wanted to ask you. What's new in your tool?
So the new thing in our tool is going to be everybody's darling, which is artificial intelligence, and we are mixing it up with machine learning. So we realize that root cause analysis in data centers or any other large infrastructure is a big, because the moment there is a problem
Hmm.
and it is the root cause analysis is not done correctly,
Hmm.
the next time you're not sure that would there be a 10 minutes break, or would there be a bigger break. So the
Correct.
MTTR and NTBF
Hmm.
uh, goes for a toss. So
Hmm.
we are bringing in a generative AI, which not only would pick up historical data and do
Correct.
analysis and give
Correct.
it back to you, but it can also do synthetic data. So depending upon how the algorithms are working, or
Hmm.
how your sorry, not algorithms, the SOPs are working,
Correct.
these our AI is going to pick up synthetic information and create that data
Hmm.
and give it back to you. So I think that's the big
Well, that's
in thing.
good to know. I mean, like it's been a great learning for me also, and I would like to thank you here.
Thank you so much, sir.
And here you are, folks. I mean, like you heard from the subject matter expert, Mr. Bose himself. But then we will continue with our this topics, with the infrastructure, more infrastructure topics to coming in future. But till then, before I end up, I would also like to think, and I'll bounce up this, Mr. Steve. How do we document all these things so that these are documented somewhere, and anybody can, look into whenever it's required. But anyways, I'll stop here. Thank you very much, folks. And till that time when we come next, happy learning. See you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.